Firefighting in Canada this week is brought to you by VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. In this edition, new data from Statistics Canada shows that preventable risk factors were reported in half of unintended fire deaths. Then, Nova Scotia is investing more than $1 million in first responder safety equipment. And, in Alberta, Greenview Fire Rescue Services is launching the Volunteer Firefighter Green Light program. New data from Statistics Canada found that at least one risk factor, like smoking, alcohol, or drug consumption, or a non-functioning fire alarm, was reported in half of unintended residential fire-related deaths. These findings, which come from the Canadian Coroner and Medical Examiner database, found that between 2011 and 2020, 81% of the average 220 fire-related annual deaths were involuntary. Residential fires made up 92% of deaths in the 10-year period, with twice as many happening in the winter. The use of alcohol, cannabis, or drugs was reported in nearly one-third of involuntary fire deaths at home. One-fifth of deaths were caused by cigarettes, tobacco products, pipes, or other smoking material. Non-functioning smoke alarms were reported in at least 1 in 7 fire deaths, and 71% of deaths occurred with no information on smoke alarms. Nova Scotia's provincial government is investing more than $1 million to help first responder organizations buy safety equipment. The Emergency Services Provider Fund offers funding to fire departments and ground search and rescue organizations, including hazardous materials teams. Organizations can apply every 3 years. 56 organizations are receiving funding under the program this year, which provides up to 75% of eligible costs up to $20,000. Categories of coverage include personal protective equipment and self-contained breathing apparatuses, communications, rescue equipment, miscellaneous firefighting equipment, hazardous materials equipment, and emergency power for buildings. Greenview Fire Rescue Services in Alberta is set to launch the Volunteer Firefighter Green Light program on November 1st. The Green Light program will help identify Greenview firefighters who are in the process of either mustering to the station for an emergency or responding directly to an emergency incident in their personal vehicle. The use of the flashing green light will provide motorists and pedestrians with visual notification that there is an emergency and to yield if safe to do so. The program is being piloted by all 3 Greenview Fire Rescue stations, with each station utilizing 2 of the green lights. At the end of 2022, Greenview Fire Rescue Services will complete a comprehensive review of the program to assess the results of the project. Thanks again to VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. Stay tuned for our next episode on Friday, November 11th.